BlackRock is tokenizing investment funds on the Ethereum blockchain, and the world's largest pension fund is considering investing in Bitcoin. And Goldman Sachs head of digital assets is saying the future is on public blockchains. That's bullish news. We're going to break this down and much more. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. Well, folks, let's start by taking a look at the price of Bitcoin, which is currently just over 62,000. Actually, it's close to 63,000. But folks, on the daily chart, it's forming a green candle. Now, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. This needs to prove itself. It could still keep going down. Right now, Bitcoin is down 16%, near 16%. And historically, we've seen pullbacks be in the range of 20 to 30%. My hope is it just goes down to 20%. We bounce and keep moving up. Or maybe it doesn't have to go to 20%, but these are things you want to look at historically. How has Bitcoin and the crypto market performed? And then you can form a thesis. So one of the other indicators, and analyst Matthew Hyland reported that Bitcoin daily RSI closes at the same level as it was when Bitcoin was at 40K. So the RSI, the relative strength index, is looking good. We could see a bounce. And maybe that's why we're seeing that green candle on the daily chart. However, the DXY, the dollar currency index, is still looking strong. Green candles. I'm hoping maybe at this point it rolls over and starts correcting, and then risk assets like Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will keep moving upward. But make no mistake about it, we are in a bull market. We are in a uptrend. So I'm anticipating higher prices, but the market cycles have to play out. I was calling for Bitcoin to have some sort of pullback since $48,000 because that was the 618 using the Fibonacci model. However, Bitcoin kept going and broke the all-time high, and this was due to the ETF buying, but it had to pull back and correct at some point. Market cycles have to play out. Nothing goes up in a straight line, and you have to keep that in mind, not to get uber bullish and your emotions take over. You have to respect the charts, respect the market cycles, because the moment you don't, that's when you get wrecked. And I had to learn that lesson over the years. So I'm trying to share that knowledge, that education, so that your learning curve, those of you who are new, is shorter. You don't have to get wrecked and experience all these things. You can at least walk away with the knowledge, okay, Bitcoin's been pumping hard. This coin has been pumping hard. We are possibly due for a corrections very soon, right? You anticipate that, and you can put together a great strategy based on that information. Now, we also got news here that Tether has minted 1 billion USDT, and Circle was also minting a lot of USDC. What does that mean? Liquidity is coming back to the market, right? Many whales and investors, they'll do the stablecoin route and use that and put it in the market. We've seen this time and time again. I've shared these metrics with you guys time and time again. I tried to give you the holistic view of the market. So this is an indication that possibly this USDT could be put into the market, as well as I mentioned, Circle has been minting USDC as well. So we're going to see, I think, the market continue to move up. We just got to be patient and go through the market cycles. Now, let's take a look at what are the top trending coins on social media. And meme coins continue to dominate. The first is Slurf. Yes, Slurf. It's a Solana-based meme coin getting incredible social mentions. It's actually got a lot of positive sentiment, surprisingly, and it's spelled SLERF. And the reason why it's trending, it surpassed Ethereum in on-chain trading volume. Despite experiencing setbacks during its pre-sale, the coin gained significant market valuation, leading to community backlash and refund efforts. Additionally, a trader made over $3 million in less than 3 days dealing with Slurf. However, the meme coins like Bohm and Slurf plummeted in value following a Bitcoin flash crash. So meme coins, this is why I don't mess with meme coins, man. It's so risky. Once again, I'm not hating. It's just not for me. My risk appetite is not at that level. Now, coming in second is Nifty X Protocol, and the ticker symbol is Shroom, SHROOM. It has largely positive sentiment. Coming in at number 3 is Solana. Solana's been trending a lot lately because of its price action. Ethereum coming in here at number 4 with positive sentiment. Bitcoin coming in here at number 5 with positive sentiment. Number 6, Phantom is trending. Aptos at number 7. Boba Network, I've never heard of this, at number 8. You got Flash, yes, Flash, like the DC superhero. But it has high negative sentiment, outweighing the positive and neutral at 51.39%. And surprisingly, USDC, the stable coin, is showing up here. It says USD coin on optimism. So that's interesting. So those are your top 10 trending coins on social media. Now let's jump into the crypto news. We got a big update here around BlackRock, which is the world's wealthiest asset manager with trillions of assets under management, which of course has a Bitcoin spot ETF live. They are also custodying a lot of Circle's USDC reserves. So here's the headline: BlackRock to launch tokenized investment fund with Securitize. My OG subscribers, you may remember I interviewed the president and the CEO of Securitize years ago. I'm going to try to get them back on the podcast, but they are helping to tokenize on the blockchain, tokenize contract, people, companies, all kinds of things on the blockchain, which I believe is the future, the token economy, which we've been talking about. BlackRock is launching a tokenized private equity fund in tandem with financial services firm Securitize, as the company deepens its foray into digital assets. Last Thursday, the world's largest asset manager filed a Form D, a notice of exempt securities offerings, to the Securities and Exchange Commission regarding its USDC institutional digital liquidity fund. According to the filing, the pooled investment fund would require outside investors to put down a minimum of $100,000. The notice shows the fund's estimated sales commissions are set at $525,000, with no finder fees reported. The notice does not provide a launch date for the asset manager's latest offering. Securitize Markets, a regulatory-friendly platform for digital assets based in Miami, is listed as conducting the sale. A token called BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, or BUIDL, BUIDL, was created on March 5th on the Ethereum blockchain, according to Etherscan. It has a maximum quantity of 100 tokens, but so far only one holder. So folks, big vote of confidence for Ethereum by blockchain. They're building on Ethereum. This is why I've been telling people, despite all the noise of Solana, the actual enterprises are building on the Ethereum blockchain. Remember, PayPal launched their stablecoin on Ethereum as well. This is why I always tell you guys, diversify, diversify, diversify. I've been saying it for years. People have cult followings behind coins. I'm here to make money. So I've told you guys, I hold Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum. I hold some Solana tokens. And there's some people who are like, I'm not touching Ethereum because of this and that and so forth. When it's just software, you can be angry at certain people in the government like Bill Hinman, but still hold the Ethereum token because it's in the open market, the free market, and it is getting adoption. So this is a big adoption item here for Ethereum, and huge news. If BlackRock's behind it, they're going to be doing some big things. Now, the other aspect is BlackRock is trying to get the Ethereum spot ETF, of course, and we'll see how that goes. We'll talk a bit about that later in the show. Now, the world's largest pension fund is considering investing in Bitcoin. Of course they are, folks. We're seeing global adoption. The Government Pension Investment Fund of Japan is looking to invest in illiquidity assets, including Bitcoin. In a request for information, RFI, released on Tuesday, the pension fund notes that it currently has funds in domestic bonds and stocks, foreign bonds and stocks, real estate, infrastructure, and private equity. The GPIF revealed that it is considering investing in illiquidity assets, including forests, farmland, gold, and Bitcoin. It will consider further research on these assets based on the initial information they receive. Wow, folks. Remember, it starts with Bitcoin, and then it will move to altcoins. It's just a matter of time. And we're seeing game theory play out here. The banks, the stock exchanges, the funds, even government funds are looking to invest in crypto. Now, the Bitcoin ETFs, of course, have been a huge success, and Bitwise CEO Matt Hogan recently said that we're probably a few weeks away from the first wirehouse to support spot Bitcoin ETFs. Everybody's coming, folks. The wirehouses, the RIAs, the wealth managers, and so forth. It's incredible what's happening. Now, everyone, of course, wants the Ethereum ETF as well. There's multiple applications. As mentioned, BlackRock is in there, ARK, and all the Bitcoin ETF issuers for the most part. But James Seifert of Bloomberg is reporting that here we got the SEC delayed the Hashdex Ethereum ETF. And he says we are likely going to see at least 3 more Ethereum ETF delays today/tomorrow. This includes VanEck, ARK/21 shares, Hashdex, and Grayscale are all due for delays in the next 12 days. The reason he's saying that is because the SEC is a mess, and there's a deadline of May 23rd. And we've been talking about it on this podcast. I've interviewed quite a few folks about it. The SEC is most likely not going to approve that Ethereum ETF, and Gary's going to go to court again. I think Elizabeth Warren, his handler, is going to make him do that. And we're going to have to fight in court and win that way. But, that'll be a sweeter victory because it will be another embarrassing loss for scumbag regulator Gary Gensler. Now, quick word from our sponsor, and that is BitGo. BitGo is one of the top tier crypto custodians in the market. They've gone through multiple bull and bear market cycles. They have top of the level security, insurance, and all the bells and whistles. They are used by many of the top companies in the crypto industry like Pantera Capital, which is a hedge fund headed up by Dan Morehead, Bitstamp Exchange, Bitcoin IRA, Maple, Hashkey Capital, and many others. In fact, Nike uses their wallets for their NFTs. And some of the services that BitGo provides includes hot wallets, custodial wallets, self-managed cold wallets, and NFT wallets. So they have the full suite of options and services that you would require from a crypto custodian. They're headed up by Mike Belshie, who is a Web 1.0 and 2.0 legend. And if you'd like to learn more about BitGo, visit bitgo.com. Link will be in the description. Well, folks, we got news here from Goldman Sachs head of digital assets saying the future is on public blockchains. Goldman Sachs has been a pioneer in the traditional financial sector with its investment in the digital asset ecosystem, and it's not slowing down. Matthew McDermott, global head of digital assets at Goldman Sachs, said Tuesday at the Blackrock'S Digital Asset Summit in London. Here's a quote. "We launched the desk in 2021, McDermott said, noting that he believes Goldman Sachs is still the only bank that offers liquidity in cash-settled derivatives, options, and futures crypto trading. So they have a crypto trading desk, folks. And he says here, and it's something that we've continued to kind of build on through the last few years, and it was great," McDermott added. "Last year was tough, but this year we've seen a big change not only in terms of types of clients, but also in terms of volumes." Goldman Sachs has long promoted crypto and blockchain technology, arguing that regulated traditional financial institutions are the ones who will create meaningful innovations. Now, here's a key important factor. He said, when asked when the bank may expand its on-chain services via public blockchains, McDermott said there are currently some compliance hurdles, but he hopes the team can move in that direction. So why is that important? Why is that bullish? Public blockchains are the ones that we are able to hold the tokens for, right? That's Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP Ledger, Cardano, Algorand, and so on and so forth. And the tokens are traded in the public market, and any builder can go on the blockchains and build on it versus a permissioned private blockchain, which would be like a JP Morgan quorum, right? Where you can't just go on it. So the public is, if that gets adoption, and it is getting adoption, but I mean, like if big banks start using it, that's bullish for us who hold the native tokens. So that's a very bullish statement from him and what they want to do with public blockchains. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not going to use public blockchains for everything. They will have possibly private blockchains within their own networks, or they may use a private ledger or subnet. So for example, the XRP ledger has a private ledger, and then Avalanche, the blockchain, has subnets, which has privacy. They're not going to want to put important information on, the public blockchain for everybody to see, obviously, but they may use the public blockchain for certain things, maybe customer facing, certain types of initiatives and so forth. But that's great. And if they're building on the private subnet of a public blockchain, that's great as well. It's all adoption, driving more value on the blockchain. And And Metcalfe's law comes into play, and the network becomes stronger, more valuable, and its native token becomes more valuable. So this is very bullish news, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these big banks do as things progress. Now, tomorrow, guys, there is a meeting about the SEC titled SEC Overreach, Examining the Need for Reform. And this is a hearing that's going to take place with the House Financial Services Committee. They're going to talk about the SEC, obviously. And what a time, right? Because yesterday the SEC got a big smackdown from the judge in the debt box case getting sanctioned. So Eleanor Terra of Fox Business is reporting here, highlighting who will be testifying and so on and so forth. And in fact, we highlighted yesterday that the SEC asked for their budget for 2025, asking for more money. And Tom Emmer, the GOP majority whip, he literally tweeted out no, highlighting the SEC's request for $158 million from the federal budget to police crypto's Wild West. So look, they got to take action, though. Like, this is one of the ways: block the budget or even cut the budget. In addition, Patrick McHenry, if you're listening, you're watching, you got to issue that subpoena. You said, you threatened that against Gary Gensler, and this man is out of control. So you got to do it. You got to rein him in. Now, we got some good news here. The Gemini Earn and Genesis situation is being resolved. They provided an update here. Earn update. This is from Gemini. Genesis asked the bankruptcy court to approve the settlement in principle announced on February 28th, 2024, which provides for a global settlement with Genesis and other creditors in the Genesis bankruptcy that will, if approved by the bankruptcy court, result in all Earn users receiving 100% of their digital assets back in kind, approximately 97% in the near term, and then a remainder as recoveries are received from Digital Currency Group Incorporated. That's probably why Grayscale's been selling off a ton of its GBTC, right? They need the money to pay back all this stuff. But the important thing, the users are being made whole. In fact, Genesis also settled with the SEC to pay $21 million in settlement with the SEC. So I don't have a problem with the SEC going after bad actors. I have a problem with the scumbag moves that Gary Gensler has been making, going after everybody, the good actors, in fact, stabbing the good actors in the back, not providing clarity, throwing different tokens into lawsuits, saying they're securities without actually giving proof, without saying what constitutes a security within digital assets, not a 1930 law, which they couldn't comprehend. Blockchain networks distributed globally, tokens distributed globally, decentralized networks, right? So this is fine by me because Genesis did something bad here. You do the crime, you pay the fine, and you do the time, right? So this is good news. And this is what the SEC should stick to, actually going after bad actors versus playing politics and trying to roadblock an entire industry to protect the banking incumbents. Now, Michael Saylor tweeted out today that MicroStrategy has acquired another 9,245 Bitcoin, which is incredible. I mean, wow. This guy continues to buy Bitcoin, and he's buying it at very high prices, right? But he's got a bit of a strategy. He's got an arbitrage going on with the MicroStrategy stock, and some people have been saying they look like they're selling some of the MicroStrategy stock. So this is why when he tells you to don't sell and hold and so forth, please be careful. He was already a millionaire. He's doing this through his company, so it's not like it's his personal holding. Don't get me wrong, he has Bitcoin, but this is through a company, and they're doing some sort of arbitrage with these stocks. So it's bullish, but also just be careful and read between the lines with what he's doing and what he's saying. I'm saying that for the newer people, the people who have been here for a while, you know the deal. But those of you who are new, you may see sales say, don't ever sell your Bitcoin, right? No, you do what you want with your Bitcoin. If you need to take profits, you take profits, right? Because bull markets don't last forever. And not all of us are multimillionaires or have a big, massive company where we can do all these things, right? Many of us, like me, we're just average Joes and Janes, and we're trying to make a good return and give ourselves financial freedom. Now, Aave, there's a big update here. I don't personally hold the Aave token, but it is a popular token. Aave tries a new round of airdrops targeting competitors. A total of $5 million will be doled out over a 90-day period and possibly longer. Merit, Aave's latest alignment reward program, has gone live today and will be airdropping 280 wrapped ETH to wrapped ETH borrowers. GHO borrowers and stakers can also be expected to earn rewards from an airdrop next week, according to a press release reviewed by Blackrock'S. $2.1 million in wrapped ETH and $2.9 million in GHO will be spent over an initial 90-day period, and an extension proposal will be presented to the Aave DAO in April. Merit is designed to reward actions that benefit the Aave DAO, a twist in the competitive landscape of the DeFi space. Specifically, it uses a booster-based reward system that enables users to earn profits over time. So I'm not going to go through all the details here, but this is something to be aware of if you hold the Aave token, and you can check this out. But look, if you can get these airdrops with very little risk, that's great, right? Like I've done different things where I've gotten airdrops. Many of you know I got the Flare token airdrop and the Songbird airdrop, and I've been delegating my Flare tokens, and I continue to get the distributions. So that has worked out well. It's free money, right? Unless there's some massive risk where you can lose your funds. This is where you want to do your research. All right, folks, that's the news. Heads up, I will be in Washington, D.C. from May 14th through the 16th for the blockchain summit, the DC blockchain summit. This is headed up by the Chamber of Digital Commerce. It's a great initiative. Speakers that'll be there include Representative Mike Flood, who I've had on the podcast, Cynthia Lummis, Hester Peirce of the SEC, Patrick McHenry, Caitlin Long. There's many more. So different people from the crypto industry and politicians. And I'll be at a dinner on the 14th, and the actual summit is on the 15th, May 15th. So you can buy tickets for that. And then on the 16th, there's what's called the Blockchain Education Day, where you can participate to go on Capitol Hill to speak to policymakers. So I'll be participating in all that, vlogging. If you'd like to attend, I would love to meet you guys, and it'd be a great opportunity. I'm working with the Chamber of Digital Commerce where you can get a discount. I'll put a link in the description. If you don't want to pay the ticket for the summit, you can just do the Blockchain Education Day, which is like $199. So something to check out, folks. Once again, I'll be there. I think it's a great initiative, meeting with the representatives in DC, the policymakers, members of Congress, and try to educate people and get them up to speed on what is going on with crypto. So I'll be doing some podcasting from there. Like I said, some vlogging. So I'll bring all the details and coverage for you guys. But if you're able to attend, it's really great. Links will be in the description. Check it out. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you all later.